Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder aboard the Pyorremyrsky. Can you believe it? I am not playing a ship today. Yes, this is a plane, believe it or not. This is the first Swedish plane that I wanted to present you, and it is kind of the Finnish nation, according to the flag. I've looked it up, the name resembles to Whirlwind, and it is also, believe it or not, related to a Bf-109. And that has to do with that the engine is the DB605A 12-cylinder inline with 1260 horsepower, and so also the shape of the fuselage is quite related to the Bf-109. The wings obviously look a little bit different. At first I thought that they look a little bit like the I-225, but that's a bit too far-fetched. No, this is a rank 2 battle rating 4.3 premium plane, and I cannot really full-heartedly recommend it for three main reasons. First of all, this is only rank 2. Now, if you are a collector and you really want to have a Swedish aircraft, this is a good choice. And the second reason is the Civil Line and the RP income are bad. So the premium jet is a much better choice here because it's also 8.7. So here we have a Civil Line modifier of 1.6. That's 1.1 below the maximum of 2.7. We'll see this later on in the results after this match. So I do not really recommend the jet yet because I haven't played it yet, but when it comes to this aircraft with that low amount of Civil Line modifier and also the RP modifier that's quite low with only 1.42, that's also pretty bad. The jet has 2.2, so again 0.8 less. And we are far from the top, right? And then the third reason, there is nothing to research. The fourth reason is, you will, that you don't have any sort of bombs or rockets aside from your gun armament. Now, what kind of armament are we talking here? A single centrally mounted 20mm MG151-20 with 150 rounds in total. So not 250 that you are used to from certain Italian or German designs, but only 150. So you can run out of 20mm shells before you like it. And there we could see a little bit of the compression there. It was not too serious, but enough to throw off my aim. This was in fact one of the first battles that I played, so don't judge me too hard, although I have some pretty bad shooting in this. But hey, if you're watching my channel, you're quite used to this. And now, who to shoot? LA5, P63, the other guy, I don't know. He stalls out, and so he is under my gunfire, flies through my shells, but at the end of the day, one hits, and that's good enough. So the 20mm is always good. As long as the German 20mm will work, it is fine. There you could see it actually turns also pretty well. Now the other two gun systems are the 12.7mm LKK/42 with 600 rounds in total, mounted on the engine cowling. Now, believe it or not, they might have a different name than the American M2 Browning 50 cals. But they have very similar belt, very similar sound, in fact the same sound, and apparently the same damage effect. So effectively you have a German 20mm and two American 50 cals. That's all you need apparently. To be honest, this is a plane that is not in line with the G55S in terms of raw power and also raw versatility when it comes to the bombs, the torpedo, and the 320mm. But in terms of flight performance, I like it. So the engine has a huge power output, and the plane doesn't really seem to be that heavy. It has a little bit of compression issues at times. It has also a little bit of rudder wobbling, and this was where my brain really went badly. I didn't see that guy, and I thought that he would be further away. So I was confused. I was concentrating on the other guy, and he had a free shot on me. And I was actually pretty surprised that I got this kill, but apparently that's the thing in War Thunder. And yeah, I'm turn fighting, I admit it. And that was bad shooting again. And then I switched target to this one, target prioritization. And I could have pulled the trigger there, and I didn't expect the plane to get up. But hey, I get the kill here, so I'm fine with this. Two planes above me, one plane in fact. So the teamwork is strong. Sometimes you're fighting It seems like with the Germans, sometimes you're fighting against them. It seems like the Swedish nation is more or less a choker nation right now. Not a choke nation, but a choker nation. And yeah, this is very early first impressions. Don't judge me on this. So, I cannot really recommend this plane at the moment. There is nothing to research. The income is bad and it's only rank 2. So, even if Gaijin would later on kind of buff the income, which I hope they do, then you still can research rank 1, 2, and 3. And so, I better wait for the rank 3 and rank 4 premium aircraft, if you ask me. There's just simply nothing to research, and I still wanted to make a video on this just to satisfy your interest. Now, it's a bit hard to not show premium vehicles all the time if half of the patch was about premium and, you know, we see a new nation. And one of the new aircraft, in fact, which has been apparently announced and I've missed it, is the J2A, the biplane rank 1, battle rating 1.0. And I can't play it. So, yeah, a third of the Swedish tech tree is unplayable. And the rest are premiums. Yeah, you couldn't make this up. Gaijin at its finest. It's not really a problem, to be honest. But this aircraft, I like how it flies. I like how it shoots. And I like what I can accomplish with it if I'm not fully retard, like here. And thanks to the 50 cal, because I ran out of the 20mm, as I said, I got a fire on this aircraft, and that secures my 5th kill. So that's pretty nice, that's pretty neat. And yeah, the following is also something very important. I now have 125 50 cals left, or 120 rounds. That is not a lot if you spray a little bit, if you miss a few shots and then RNG isn't with you. But still, I try to re-engage here this Yak 3, which just shot down one of the premium BF-109s. And I tried to scare him away. Maybe he doesn't really know what I'm capable of. I don't know it to my full extent right now. This is not a turn fighter. This is a boom and zoomer, but it's not like it couldn't turn at all. It can do scissor maneuvers, but it shouldn't be your priority to do so. So how to play this plane? Well, first of all, if it hasn't become apparent, use the engine power. Climb high. And you can easily go to 6,000-7,000 meters altitude and not really lose all that much performance. And so you can then be like a hawk over the enemy aircraft, which is nice. So that gives you a severe advantage. And then if your aim isn't terrible, either the 50 cals or the 20mm will work wonders. You shouldn't really spew away the ammunition like I did here. Do as I say, not as I do. That's a golden rule. And then you have a good chance, especially if your team doesn't succumb. If you play with the allies, then you have this allied team syndrome. I have to be honest here, I noticed this quite a few times, and then you have a bit of a problem, because again, this plane, I don't want to go as far as to say that this is a one-trick pony, far from it. It has good performance. But this is, how should I say, this is the minimum. This is the minimum in terms of armament that you need on a premium aircraft in RRB. I cannot see this being really useful in tank RB if we ever see Swedish tanks, probably next patch. So, because it lacks the bomb. So there you can see it has its limitations. Now I tell the Yak 3 to turn around, and yeah, because I want to land and I want to fight this Yak 9. So wherever I go, it's the wrong decision. The other Yak was running away. The Mosquito is probably in a head-on with this Yak 9. And yeah, I'm thinking about, should I go for the big airfield or for the short one? Because the short one is closer by. The Yak 9K goes down. The other Yak 3 isn't visible anymore, so I need to land to repair the damage, get some fuel back, but most importantly, get my 20mm restocked. So this is more like a, yeah, a plane for the early moments, because of its performance that you climb, as I said, and then you have to be really careful to not expend your ammunition. It's not dreadful. Experienced pilots, they will say it is probably enough, but if again you miss a few shots, you have some sparks, or there is half the enemy team to kill, then 150 millimeters, it can be tricky for me, I have to be honest. And yeah, I'm used to, you get this BF-109 feeling, right? And then you're used to 250 rounds. So the Yak-3 turned actually back and killed my Yak-3, which is a shame, because he protected me, okay? That was his reasoning to stay up and fight here with the Yak-3. But he actually killed him in return. And so let's make it quick. Here are the results. So for my 5 kills and 3 critical hits, I got 76,000 silver lines and 18,000 research. This doesn't really look bad, but if you compare it with other aircraft where you would get an ace with premium status, you would see that you could get significantly more. You should exceed 100,000 silver lines for 5 kills with a premium aircraft to make it worthwhile for a silver line grind. And the RP, it's okay, but again, with a proper rank 3, rank 4 aircraft, it would be significantly higher, and there is nothing to research. The skin is also pretty boring on this aircraft. I hope that we get an alternative sooner or later, but this is what we have now to deal with. Overall, I like the performance, but I would love to see there to be something to research and higher civil line and RP modifiers. And even then, I think that future premium aircraft will have more value. That's my honest opinion about this aircraft. I think that it is not the worst pick there to be. The performance is there, but it is just a short-term performance. And after this, you have to RTB maybe more than you're used to. Other than this, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if it did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, on the battlefields, and in the skies of War Thunder.